Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. In our previous class, we have been discussed about the structure of the pistil, that is nothing but gynecium, so which contains the three parts. One is the stigma, style and ovary. So inside the ovary, as I said you that it contains the ovule, and that ovule it will convert into the seed. So today's class, let us discuss about that ovule which will be present inside the ovary of the pistil. Ovule even we are calling it as a megasporangium. So ovule even what we are calling it as a megasporangium, and this ovule later it will develops into the seed. So another time I will tell you here where this megasporangium or ovule it will present means it will be present inside the pistil. Inside the pistil, where it will present means it will be present inside the ovary. So last previous class we have been discussed about this stigma, style and ovary. Inside that ovary this megasporangium it will be present. So today's class let us discuss about this structure of the ovule, which is one of the most important guarantee question. 100% this question will be arises for your exam for 5 marks. So compulsorily everyone you have to practice this diagram of this ovule. So this is the structure of the megasporangium or ovule we are calling. So 100% there will be 5 marks question, it will be there for your exam. So let us start this question here. So first of all, so ovule is the functional unit arises from the placenta present on the wall of the ovary, and it develops into seed after fertilization. So what that means, ovule is a functional unit arises from the placenta. So as I said you here in our previous class we have been discussed about the stigma, style and ovary. So stigma, style, ovary means, suppose here this is the stigma, style and this is the ovary. Stigma, style and ovary. So inside this ovary, as I said you, it contains the carpel. I will remember. So inside this ovary what it contains? It contains the carpel, and this carpel, inside this carpel it contains the ovarian cavity. It contains what it contains? It contains the ovarian cavity. Cavity to whom we are calling the empty space which is present, and that empty space it is lined by the parenchyma cells. That is nothing but parenchymatous cells, and this is only we are calling it as a placenta. And this structure we are calling it as a placenta. Ovary, inside the ovary it contains the carpel. This is the carpel. Once again I will repeat it. So inside the ovary it contains the carpel. Inside the carpel there will be empty space will be present. This empty space is lined by the parenchyma cells, and that structure we are calling it as a placenta. For this placenta who will attach here means this anatropous ovule it will get attached. This ovule it will get attached. So that's why they are telling here ovule is a functional unit arises from the placenta present on the wall of the ovary. Placenta, where it is present? Placenta it is present on the wall of this ovary. Which is the wall of the ovary? This is the wall of the ovary. So this is the ovary, this is the ovary wall. So placenta complete it will present on this wall of the ovary. From this, so who is arising here? So it ovule it is arising. So ovule is arising on the wall of the ovary and develops into the seed. Later this ovule it will develops into what? Later this ovule it will develops into the seed. So develops into the seed after fertilization. When it will develops into the seed means only after the fertilization. Before fertilization ovule will not develop into the seed. Ovule will be remains as it is. But as soon as the pollen grain falls on the stigma and there will be the compatibility, matching process will be there. Compatibility means matching process. If it matched means we are calling it as a compatibility. If didn't match means then we are calling it as a incompatibility we are calling. Suppose the compatibility form is that time this pollen tube it will start arising, this pollen grains it will start arising the pollen tube which contains the two male gametes. Finally they will fuse and fertilization process it will be held, and at that time the ovule it will convert into the seed. So ovule is nothing but, so ovule is a functional unit arises from the placenta present on the wall of the ovary, and it develops into seed after fertilization. When it develops into the seed means only after the fertilization. This is about your megasporangium. sporangium. Now next let us discuss which are the parts present in this anatropous ovule. This is compulsory, everyone you have to practice this diagram 100%. There will be the question for you, the diagram question will be there for you. So next anatropous, this ovule we are calling it as a anatropous ovule we are calling. This structure which what we are calling ovule means different type of ovules will come here. So this type of ovule what we are calling means we are calling it as a anatropous ovule. This type of structure what we are calling, this type of structure we are calling it as a anatropous ovule. So the anatropous ovule is differentiated into two types, two regions here. It differentiated into how many regions here? It differentiated into the two regions. Completely this portion it will be differentiated into the two portion here. Which are those? Means one we are calling it as a stalk, another one we are calling it as a body. It is differentiated into the two portion. Which are those? Means one we are calling it as a stalk, another one we are calling it as a body. Now let us see which portion we are calling it as a stalk we are calling. So first of all, stalk is nothing but stalk of the ovule is called funicle. To whom we are calling it as a stalk means, so this funicle part we are calling it as a stalk. So to whom which we are calling it as a stalk means the funicle part. This is the stalk. The funicle part we are calling it as a stalk. So with the help of this funicle, this ovule it will be attached to the placenta. With the help of this, suppose this is the placenta here means this ovule it will be attached. So like this is the parenchymatous cells will be present. So completely it will form a lining, a bed of the parenchyma cells. On this ovarian cavity it will be present. Okay, on this who will be present is this funicle it will be attached. So this portion only we are calling it as a stalk we are calling. Stalk of the ovule is called funicle. Stalk of the ovule what we are calling? Stalk of the ovule we are calling it as a funicle we are calling. Next the body of the ovule fuses with the funicle. So in a region called hilum. Next as I said here remaining part is a body part. So stalk and body part as I said it is divided into the two parts here. One is the stalk and another one is the body as I said here. Stalk as I said here to whom we are calling it as stalk means funicle we are calling it as a stalk where the funicle will be attached to this placenta here. Next body, remaining body of the ovule. So this is the complete body which will be fuses to the funicle. So this complete body it will fuse to this funicle. Remaining body what it will say here? Remaining body it will fuse to this funicle. How this body it is fusing means with the help of this hilum. So the body of the ovule fuses with the funicle in a region called the hilum. So the body where it will be fuses means it will fuses with the hilum. This portion we are calling it as a hilum. This portion what we are calling? We are calling it as a hilum. This hilum it will be attached to the funicle. That is nothing but we are calling it as a stalk. So like that completely anatropous ovule it is divided into the two region. One is the stalk region, another one is the body region. So this body region it will be attached with the help of the hilum to the funicle. Next word, afterwards the body of the ovule is extremely surrounded by the two protective layer called integuments here. So what I mean, the body of the ovule is completely surrounded by the two protective layers. So completely this body is surrounded by the two protective layers which are known as this is one, this is one. So this is one layer, this is one layer. See here, this is one layer and this is one layer. It is protected by the two layers here. So completely anatropous ovule it is protected by homes. It is protected by the two layers here. So two layers it is protected or it is surrounded by the two layers. What you call these two layers means we are calling it as a integuments. What we are calling means we are calling it as a integuments. Later when this anatropous ovule when it convert into the seed, so this integument it will develops into the seed coat. So you have seen the plenty of seeds. So for that seed coat will be present. Example you have seen the groundnut. Groundnut have you seen? No. So groundnut it contains the seed coat, chilka. So that chilka is nothing but it has came from the integument. This integument only it will comes to it will later it will get formed to the seed coat. So in every seed, you take any type of seeds here, every seeds are having the outer coat it will present. Even you can see the balapalli, so or else even batani, chana, all these things they having their own seed coat will be present here. That seed coats it will be developed with the help of this integument. This integuments two protective layers only later it will develops into the seed coat in the seed. So next one, so it is body of it is covered by the two protective layer and the two protective layer we are calling it as a integuments here. Next one, these integuments covers the completely body except one region here, except leaving the small opening. So these two integuments completely it will covers this whole body. Completely it will these two integuments it will completely it will covers the whole body, but leaving except one region. Which is that region? Means this portion. See here we will not find any integuments here. Here there is an empty space it is present. Now this space we are calling it as a microfile. This opening we are calling it as a microfile we are calling. So integument will completely surround throughout this oval here, but only except leaving certain space here. What you call this space? Means this space we are calling it as a microfile we are calling. This space what we are calling? We are calling it as a microfile. See here integuments cover the body of the oval completely except a small opening called microfile. It is the microfile. This is the region we are calling it as a microfile. So completely it will be surrounded, but in this region, so here we will not find any integuments here. So this region we are calling it as a microfile region. So next part, which is the part here means after that. So next part is opposite to the microfile where the integument start is called what here means chalaza, and it represents the basal part of the ovule. Next what they are telling here means opposite to the microfile region. Next what they are telling, opposite to the microfile region integument starts is called as chalaza. See here this is the diagram here. So as I will show here, this is the microfile region. So opposite to this microfile region what we are calling means we are calling it as a chalaza it is present. Opposite to this who is present means opposite to this chalaza it is present. So this is the starting point of the what here means it's a starting point of the chalaza. Opposite to the microfile where the integument starts we are calling it as a chalaza region, and it is represents the basal part of the ovule. So this is the basal part of the ovule. This chalaza region what it is representing? It is representing the basal part of this ovule. Ovule ka basal part it is present here. Where it will present means opposite to the microfile region it will be present. Next after that who will present means the inner integuments encloses a mass of parenchymatous tissues called nucellus. Inner integuments what it contains here? A mass of parenchymatous cells it is present. So which is the mass of cells here means? See this is the mass of cells here. Here what type of cells are present here? Here it contains the parenchyma cells it is contains here. Inner to the integuments. These are the two integuments. This is the outer integument. This is the inner integument. Inner to these integuments what it contains here? It contains a mass of parenchymatous cells it is present. Mass of means number of parenchyma cells. What type of cells are present here? Parenchyma cells when it is present. Number of mass of parenchymatous cells are present, and this portion what we are calling means we are calling it as a nucellus. This structure what we are calling where I have shown by dotted region. So this complete portion what we are calling means we are calling it as a nucellus we are calling. Keep remember nucellus. Many of them here they will write that instead of nucellus they will write nucleus they will write. So if you write the nucleus so you will not get any marks. So nucellus is different, nucleus is different. So this portion the number of parenchyma cells are present in this region. This region we are calling it as a nucellus, and this nucellus it contains the reserve food materials. What it contains here? It contains the reserve food materials. Even in your first year you have been studied about the structure of the parenchyma cells. What is the function of the parenchyma cells? It will store the reserve food materials. In the same manner here they contains the parenchymatous means in this region it contains the parenchyma cells, and what they will store means they will store the food materials. What they will store here? They will store the large amount of food materials after fertilization. So embryo need the food. So who is supplying the food means this nucellus only it will supplies the food here. So after the fusion when the male gamete fuse with the female gamete and zygote will get formed, after later that zygote it will develops into the embryo. That time they need the food. So who is supplying means this nucellus only it is supplying the food. Already as I mentioned in my previous classes also here. So nucellus it will supply the food. So that's why it contains a large number of what it contains reserve food material. Now inside to this nucellus what it contains means it contains the embryo sac. Which is the embryo sac? So this one is the embryo sac. See middle one this is a egg like structure it is present here. This is portion completely we are calling it as a embryo sac. Here I mentioned here. See this is we are calling it as a embryo sac. So this is the embryo sac. Inside this what it contains here nucellus. So this dotted like structure we are calling it as a nucellus. nucleus. Inside that nucleus it contains the embryo sac. It contains embryo sac. Even we are calling it as a female gametophyte. Embryo sac, even what we are calling embryo sac, even we are calling it as a female gametophyte. So this one even what we are calling female gametophyte. See here, so embryo sac what we are calling embryo sac, even we are calling it as a female gametophyte. So nucleus encloses embryo sac, so or even we are calling it as a female gametophyte we are calling. And before that, as I explained here, so in an integument encloses a mass of parenchymatous tissues called nucellus, and nucellus contain abundant reserve food material, as I said you here. So nucellus encloses what it encloses? It encloses the embryo sac, or even that embryo sac, even what we are calling another name female gametophyte, or else see female gametophyte we are calling. Next one, this inside this embryo sac, what it contains means inside that embryo sac it contains the egg operators. Inside the embryo sac, what it contains here? Inside the embryo sac it contains the egg operators. It contains here inside the embryo sac it contains the egg operators at the microphylar region. So in the embryo sac contains egg operators at the microphylar end, whereas the what here means it consists of large egg cells in the center and two pear-shaped cells called synergid cells on either side. So what they contain here means, see here this one, this is the structure. So inside the nucellus it contains the what it contains? It contains the egg. So inside this egg what it contains means it contains the egg operators. Which are the egg operators means? So egg operators will be present. So this one we are calling it as the egg operators. So this one completely what we are calling means we are calling it as a egg operators we are calling. Where they will be present means egg operators will be present at this microphylar region. It will be present at the microphylar and it will present. To whom we are calling it as a egg operators means, so one large egg, which is a large egg, this one is a large egg. One large egg and two pear-shaped synergid cells we are calling it as a what here means egg operators we are calling. These three together we are calling it as a egg operators. So even they may be mentioned, they may ask in your exam here, egg operators, egg operators, egg operators are, to whom we are calling egg operators means egg plus two synergid cells. Egg plus two synergid cells together we are calling it as a egg operators. So where they will be present means they will present in this microphylar region, they will be present. So this is the egg and these two are the egg operators, synergid cells we are calling. Completely these three structures we are calling it as a what here means we are calling it as a egg operators, and where they will be present means they are present in this microphylar region, they will be present here. And at the chalazal end, towards the chalazal end what it contains means it contains the three cells here. So towards the chalazal end what it contains? Towards the chalazal end it contains the three cells. So these are the three cells, and these three cells we are calling it as a antipodal cells here. These three cells what we are calling? We are calling it as a antipodal cells. What you call these three cells? These three cells we are calling it as a antipodal cells. So egg operators is present towards a microphylar region. Antipodal cells they are present towards a chalazal region. Keep remember this one. If you write opposite one means you will lose your marks. So many of them they will write that. So egg operators are present towards the chalazal end, antipodal cells are present towards the microphylar end. So that time your answer will be wrong. So egg operators will be present towards the microphylar region, and antipodal cells will present towards the chalazal region. So how many antipodal cells will be present is 3. 1, 2, 3. So 3 antipodal cells are present. Next afterwards last what it contains? So in the middle of this embryo sac, so this is the embryo sac as I said you here. So this is the embryo sac. In the middle of this embryo sac there is a large diploid secondary nucleus, it is present here. So what it contains inside that? It contains a large diploid secondary nucleus. See here, this is only we are calling it as a large diploid secondary nucleus. diploid secondary nucleus it is present, which is here means this one. So this is the one large diploid secondary. You may getting confused here. So I written here two polar nuclei, and again I am telling here secondary nucleus. So actually here before these are the two polar nuclei, two cells, these are the two cells which are in a haploid in condition. This is also haploid, this is also haploid in condition. So when it is in a haploid in condition, we are calling it as a polar nuclei. But these two cells will combine together. Both the cells polar nuclei, what they'll do, they'll combine to form a single cell. They'll combine to form a single cell. That time this same two cells have been joined here. So that's why n plus n, what it will happen? 2n it will be happen. So that's why diploid condition. Now as it forms a single cell, so in that time we are calling it as a secondary nucleus. That time what we are calling? We are calling it as a secondary nucleus we are calling. So if you are writing the two cells like this here means that time you have to mention the polar nuclei, two polar nuclei. Suppose if you are writing one cell means that time you have to mention the diploid secondary nucleus. This thing you have to keep remember. So when they are separate, single cell it will be present. They will be in a haploid in condition. That time you should not write diploid secondary nucleus. If you write diploid secondary nucleus for two cells means you lose your marks. So if you are writing the two cells means you have to mention two polar nuclei only you have to mention here. These two polar nuclei further they will combine together to form a diploid secondary nucleus. So in the middle we will find the diploid secondary nucleus. So remaining cells are haploid. See, keep remember this antipodal cells is also haploid. Three cells are present. Three also in a haploid in condition. So this synergid cells is also haploid. This is also haploid. This is also haploid. But this secondary nucleus only there it will be in a diploid in condition. 2n in condition. So need tell as the question. So in the embryo sac, so egg apparatus in the embryo sac here, polar nuclei is in haploid in condition or diploid in condition or both. So like that they'll ask you. A secondary nucleus it is in haploid in condition or diploid in condition. So such type of questions will present. Our antipodal cells are haploid in condition or diploid. So like that they'll ask. So all the cells are in a haploid condition only, n only, except the secondary nucleus. If they mention the polar nucleus, that will also be in a haploid condition only it will be present. So two polar nuclei will be present at the center. So that's why this mature ovule, anatropous ovule, we are calling it as a 7-celled embryo sac we are calling, or 8 nucleated we are calling. So this one even what embryo sac what we are calling? We are calling it as a 7-celled. Even what we are calling? We are calling it as, I will write here. We are calling it as a 7-celled or 8 nucleated. 8 nucleated. So 7 cell means, see, this is one cell, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and this one diploid means 7 cell it will present. Or else we can tell the 8 nucleated. 8 nucleated means if it is in a haploid in condition means 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Understand? So like that even this ovule embryo sac we are connected as 7 celled or 8 nucleated. So we can tell both like this. 7 cell means like this, 1, 2, 3. Another time I am repeating, 1, 2, 3. Here 1, 2, 3, 6 over, and this one 7. When it will forms a diploid in condition means 7 celled it will be present. Or else if you are counting the nucleus means 1, 2, 3. Here polar nuclei will be present. 2 polar nuclei will be present. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So that's why embryo sac we can tell it as a 7 celled or 8 nucleated also we can tell. So this is the complete structure of the what here means anatropous ovule. So which type of ovule this is? This is the anatropous ovule we are calling, and this is, as I said here, one of the important questions. So here see here, this is the notes here. Just now whatever I revised to explain you, this is the notes for that one. So nucleus, as I said here, opposite to another one time I will repeat here. Opposite to micropyle where the integument starts is called a chalazal. Opposite to micropyle what it contains? Opposite to micropyle it contains the chalazal. Even the diagram also they have been mentioned in your textbook here. In your textbook in this manner they are given ulta. They are given this one. Says here, opposite to microphyll region, what it contains? Chalazal region it is present here. So next here, so it represent the basal part of the ovule. Next, inner integument encloses a mass of parenchymatous tissues called nucellus here. Where is the nucellus? This is the nucellus here. Inner integuments, what this is outer integument, this is inner integument. Inner integument, what it contains? It contains the mass of parenchyma cells here, which is representing the nucellus, and having the large number of reserve food materials it is present. Next one, nucellus contains the nucleus encloses the embryo sac of female gametophyte here. Nucellus, what it encloses here? Inside the nucleus it encloses the what here? Embryo sac. This green color structure which we are seeing here, we are calling it as a embryo sac. This is the embryo sac. So next, inside the embryo sac, what it contains? It contains the egg operators. It contains here. Inside the nucellus, what it contains? It contains inside the embryo sac, what it contains here? It contains the egg operators. Inside the embryo sac, what it contains? Egg operators it contains. Where the egg operators it contains means it is present at the microphylla, and it contains what it contains? It contains one large egg it contains, and then the center, and two pear shaped which type of cells here? Synergid cells it contains here. On either side it is present. So this is the synergid cell. Here they didn't mention here. Now this is the microphyll region, means here it will comes the two synergid cells, and one egg it will becomes here. So that these are the egg operators here. Next, opposite to that, what it contains? Three antipodal cells it comes here. So they didn't mention here. Briefly they mentioned in the next page here, embryo sac structure. So next, the chalazal end of this group have three forms of the antipodal cells. Which are the antipodal cells here? So in the chalazal end, this is the antipodal cells will be present, and in the middle we will find the two polar nuclei will be present here. So which either we are calling it as a secondary nucleus we are calling. So later the fission of two polar nuclei thus matured as a 7-celled embryo sac. 7-celled embryo sac it will be formed here. As I said you here, so in my previous class about your double fertilization, I will remember double fertilization. So double fertilization, as I said here, double fertilization means, so pollen grains it will sheds the two male gametes it will shed. Pollen grains, how many, what it sheds here? It will sheds the two male gametes. So first male gamete fuse with the egg. First male gamete, what it will do? It will fuse with the egg and convert into what here? Convert into zygote. As I said in my previous class also, in your first year also you have been the study here. So male gamete, and this is the stigma. This is the stigma style, and this is the ovary if it is present. Means when the pollen grain falls, compatibility will be taken place, and the pollen tube will be start for growing like this. So that time it will releases the two male gamete. Among that, this is the first male gamete, this is the second male gamete. So first male gamete, it will reaches towards the embryo sac here. It will reaches like this towards the embryo sac. Pollen tube will come and fuse like this, come and join towards this microphylla region. Pollen tube come and join towards this microphylla region. So that time the first male gamete it will come and fuse with the egg. Which is the egg? Here is the egg, and it will forms what? It will forms here. It will forms a zygote. It will get a form here. It will forms a zygote. Next one, second male gamete. Second male gamete fused with the whom is second male gamete fused with the secondary nucleus. Secondary nucleus. Secondary nucleus, as I said you here, what? Two polar nuclei, and forms what here? Pen. Pen means primary and endosperm nucleus. Primary endosperm nucleus it will get form. So just now as I said here, where is the secondary nucleus? So this is the secondary nucleus, as I said here. Second male gamete which is present, this second male gamete it will come and fuse to this one, and it will form a pen. That is nothing but primary endosperm nucleus. So afterwards what happen? Zygote it will develops into the embryo. Zygote what it will develops? It will develops into the embryo. Whereas this pen it will develops into the endosperm. sperm. This it will develops into what here? It will develops into the endosperms, which is nothing but it gives the nourishment for the what here means developing embryo. So like that, so what happen means double fertilization it will be taken place here. So later what happen means the see ovule which is present. So this is the anatropous ovule structure. So this is the anatropous ovule structure. Pole and tube will be arises like this, and they will come and join like this. Finally, the two male gametes it will be. So like that, flower will convert into the fruit. So say the ovule will develop into the seed, and this ovary will convert into the fruit. So finally, we'll get the what here? Completely flower will develop into the fruit. So like that here we will get the varieties of fruit through this double fertilization process, and this is the structure of the anatropous ovule, which is one of the most guaranteed question for your exam. Compulsorily you have to practice for your so we will stop here. So remaining next we will do in our later classes.